Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be giving my thoughts on a few of the Beatles biopic films and films that are about the Beatles. I've decided to do this video today because I'm really excited about watching Midas Man, which is being released in the UK on the 30th of October, and it's going to be about the life of Brian Epstein. First film I'm going to be talking about today is BackBeat. Now, this film is quite special to me because it is the reason why I became a huge fan of the Beatles. I got into the Beatles in a really weird way, not the common way of hearing a piece of their music or getting into them because your parents were Beatle fans. My parents are not Beatle fans, and so I never listened to their music when I was growing up. What happened was I became a big Harry Potter fan, and I really got into Professor Quirrell, who is played by Ian Hart, and then I got into Ian Hart himself as an actor, so I started to watch quite a few of his films, and I started by watching BackBeat, and in this film Ian Hart stars as John Lennon, and I watched this film and became really interested in wanting to know more about the Beatles. So I did my research, played my first song, and then I became a huge fan then of the Beatles. Kind of forgot about Ian Hart, and yeah, I was just obsessed from then on. So a little bit about the film. The film is about the Beatles' early days in Hamburg and focuses on the relationship between John Lennon and Stuart Sutcliffe and Stuart's girlfriend Astrid. I really liked this film. I liked it even more watching it as an actual Beatle fan because I appreciated it more. I knew more about what was going on, but I found my first watch of it gripping enough to make me want to know more about the Beatles. Astrid praised the film's accuracy and detail of her relationship with Stuart, and the film also received positive responses from Julian Lennon, Pete Best, and Stuart's sister Pauline. But Paul did say that he was annoyed that in the film they got John Lennon singing Long Tall Sally, when in fact John had never sang the song in his life, and Paul found that the film took away his rock and rollness. I can understand Paul's annoyance at that. I don't really understand why they decided not to have the Paul character singing that song and give it to John instead, especially as Paul McCartney back in the day was just as much a big rock and roller as John. Paul did say though that he thought Stephen Dorff did an astonishing performance as Stu. So it's nice to have this film which apparently shows a very accurate portrayal of Stuart Sutcliffe. The next film I want to talk about is The Hours and Times. This was another film I saw because of Ian Hart. He stars as John Lennon again in this film. I saw it shortly after I watched BackBeat. The film is a fictionalised account of what might have happened during the holiday John Lennon took with Brian Epstein in 1963. I also did enjoy watching this film. Nobody apart from those that were there can really say what happened during that holiday, so I really liked seeing the film's take on John and Brian's relationship. I think the actor who stars as Brian Epstein, I think he's called David Angus, I think he did a really good job as Brian Epstein. He kind of reminded me of him, and I also again enjoyed Ian Hart's performance as John Lennon. I do think Ian Hart did a good job portraying John Lennon both times. The next film is Nowhere Boy. Nowhere Boy is a drama film about John Lennon's teenage years, his relationships with his Aunt Mimi and Mum Julia, and the start of The Quarrymen, which shows the meeting of him, Paul, and George. This was another film that I really enjoyed. I thought the acting was really good. I thought that the film was well made, and I really enjoyed seeing the film's takes on John's relationships with his family and friend and his teen years. I did also enjoy the film's soundtrack. I definitely think it's a film watching if you are a Beatles fan. And the last film I want to talk about today is Yesterday. Yesterday is about a struggling musician who finds himself as the only person in the world who remembers the Beatles and becomes famous performing their songs. I don't know if this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I don't know how much this film is liked by Beatle fans, but I didn't enjoy this film very much. I remember feeling really excited about this film and really liking the sound of the storyline, but then being slightly disappointed when I saw it. I was just expecting the film to really highlight the impact the Beatles had in the music industry and the world. I feel like the film didn't really do that, not as much as I would have liked anyway. And the thought of the Beatles just never existing just didn't sit too well with me throughout the film. I just didn't like the idea of it. But that being said, I didn't dislike the film. I still enjoyed hearing the Beatles music throughout, and any film really about the Beatles I still watch and have some enjoyment for it. And Paul McCartney himself actually said that he loved the film, so this is just my personal opinion. It's hard sometimes as a Beatles fan watching these kind of films because I always find myself thinking, well, I think that John Lennon would have done this, or Paul McCartney would have said that, or picking up on things that you think aren't quite accurate. But I am always really excited to watch any film based on the Beatles or about the Beatles, and I really can't wait to see Midas Man in a few days. And I'm also really excited to see the Beatle films coming up directed by Sam Mendes, which is going to focus on each one of the Beatles. There's going to be 4 films. I'm really excited about that because one thing I do find with a lot of the Beatle biopic films is that they never focus on George Harrison or Ringo Starr. They're kind of just like background characters in the films, sometimes only getting one line. So it's great that we're going to get a film that focuses on them. I would love to see more biopic films in the future that are more based around Ringo or George's life. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please let me know if there are any Beatles biopic films you really enjoy. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.